Hello, I'm Jomo.
And I'm Kyle.
And you're watching Time Attack,
the only video game show on the internet.
And today we have two returning guests, Eric and the only Kyle on the internet.
Wow.
Still. And today we have just 15 minutes to discuss Heretic for the PC. So, Kyle, tell us a little bit about Heretic.
Heretic. Well, many people of a certain age might they'd probably recognize the name Hexen first, which is actually the sequel to Heretic. Heretic is a first-person shooter, I believe made right from the Doom code, swapping out Mars and demons for netherworlds, and also demons, but mythical creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of a wizard.
Oh, the Heretic.
Yeah, well, a dark wizard.
Using a wand gun.
Yeah. Well, almost everything is just a gun with like a skin of a supernatural. I couldn't even tell you what he's using half the time. Like there's like a weird like horned device.
Well, you don't even see the magic leaving. It's you hit it and it's on the enemy or off the enemy. But what I liked about the aiming, even though, was like it could be in the same spot, but there is like some. It doesn't necessarily hit the same
spread.
spot.
Yeah, if you're farther away.
A little bit of history. It's based on Doom, but it's I believe the first Doom clone where you could look up. Not that you really need to, because you can still basically just shoot forward.
Yeah.
And I played in browsers. There's two different browser versions I played. The first one had like dual stick analog support, and it kind of felt like I was playing a modern shooter. So like you're gonna see some footage where I'm moving around, looking around, and other footage where I was playing with the old keyboard controls, not looking up and down as much. And the actual result didn't change much.
I actually liked looking up though. Like, I mean, in the first level, there's a spot where you're in the middle of a room, not surprising, and like I could see a crossbow. And immediately, I want to get to that.
Yeah,
I want that.
I find it's more useful though for looking around than like mid-combat adjustments. The way I was playing.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I did too, I believe, it's the first person shooter to have like an inventory bar.
Oh yeah,
it's almost like an RPG-ish feature.
I don't know what they all did, but you could have multiple items.
Yeah,
the gauntlets or the
Let me say, it was very hard for me to get into initially because I was just playing whatever through a browser. Like I think DOS games in this era, because it was for a much older version, not of Windows but of DOS. You would literally just run the command line and bring it up. So that really dates it. But like a lot of that time, there's a separate program that you run called Setup, which lets you configure your controls and shows you what the controls are, which is really good to know to make the game less frustrating, is to know how to do it. So initially I tried mouse and keyboard. I've done some older games like this and I thought that would be good, except that the default control and design of this game, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if it's the same as Dune, maybe it is then, is a tank. So you're turning and moving forward with the mouse.
It can definitely feel more modern. Like I said, when I had the Xbox support, it felt amazing.
Right, because
and then there was a learning curve with the classic controls.
So initially, you don't have a strafe mechanic, so you're moving and turning only. It's not that the game doesn't have strafe, but the way that it's set up, you have to hold Alt and then do the combination. So that's tricky to try to kind of pull out while you're doing stuff with combat. Strafing, once I got it set up to a gamepad with joy-to-key or something like that, I did set up a gamepad for it, and it did become a lot more enjoyable for me because I could like there's larger enemies in the first two levels that will kind of throw a big flaming axe or something at you, and it's very important to dodge that because you take a big hit. So being able to shoot and sidestep it made it a lot more accessible. So yeah, I didn't actually die a lot, I would say. It was just that when I had some really kind of key important deaths, it was when I wasn't able to strafe and move and do all that all at once. But being able to strafe and do that, I had to put some time into it, but it made it a lot easier.
Whether official or not, I do believe there are some more recent like special editions on PC
that just open up.
Which I'm sure if you're going to play this game, look for something more modern. Don't play the original DOS version like we suffered through.
More accessible.
Because like the core gameplay, I mean, I'm not a huge Doom guy, but I love this. I thought it was awesome.
It was different, Doom. I mean, it's not for everyone, right? But magic, people kind of like tend to go towards that. And I mean, I played the original Doom on Super Nintendo, and this was very much that. Like you had the same secrets set up the same way. Resource management with your ammo. It was, I mean, I liked it.
The key hunt.
Switches and keys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing I complain about level design wise, it wasn't too prevalent throughout the game, but like an early Citadel level, the graveyard, I missed a switch. And like
when you step out, you have to turn, and it's right on the wall, right?
And that's the one that lowers the stairs. So you'll have the green key or whatever you need to open the door, but you haven't lowered the stairs, and you're going all over the place looking for it. And there's a couple situations in this game where it's like, oh, that wall was slightly off texture. It's actually a secret passage, and like if that's where a secret was, it wouldn't bug me. But once in a while, this was something you needed to do.
Yeah,
I came into playing this game only playing one level of Doom on the Super Nintendo years ago, so I'm pretty going into this like completely fresh, and I never thought like I would never be drawn to this game because it just wasn't my style. Never been really exposed to it, but definitely if I had the controls configured better, I think I would have enjoyed my time a lot. But playing it with a mouse and keyboard, a first-person shooter for me, totally foreign. I started to like understand like, oh, this is the appeal. I get why people like this type of game, and it's got a real creepy feel to it, like surprisingly, like I'm like, oh, this is kind of scary, even though like the graphics are completely dated.
Some of the monster calls that are happening in the background are really, like, you play this in the dark alone.
Do you could play the music of this outside during Halloween, like the kids coming to your room or your house to get candy, and it would fit perfectly.
I might do that.
It's really, there's some really interesting tracks
it's
that like
strong. Kind of creepy track.
But like, oh man, I just want to say, like, I didn't get very far, like, at all. But you get to the last level of the first, episode, whatever called, the first one, and oh my gosh, like, I think my computer couldn't handle it. There was like, you fight that big skull in the middle, you kill him, but then it seems like there's infinite amount of enemies and wizards coming out of nowhere.
Big finale.
And,
that's very much Doom.
I just got into a corner and just like shot my crossbow as much as possible, and I couldn't even see. I used every item I possibly had. I didn't know what the effects were, but they just die. And it's like all their sound effects that they it was just like
awesome.
Kill. I
could
really
know what you're shooting at.
It was intense.
Oh yeah. And some of the, like, you have to fight these minotaurs later. Oh frick, man, they're like tanks, and like they hit so hard, and you're like dodging around. They got wizards with them and everything.
Oh man, like
it's
that's
fun.
why the controls need to be on point for that, because I think that's what inhibited my experience, because like I couldn't do what I wanted to do. It was I was playing on the easiest mode,
turning,
and I couldn't beat. Like I had trouble. But it was like, I'm really happy for the experience, because I never played this kind of game, so I never really understood the appeal. It just seemed like, oh, you're just killing a bunch of monsters. But there's
a simplicity, right?
There's something about like going to this environment, and like you're not the all-powerful being. Like, you're killing us and stuff, but you always feel like anything could kill you.
Oh yeah,
like
that's part of the scare factor, right?
Yeah, like something's hitting you, and you're like, oh, it's like, what's going on behind me? And it's
some
like
of those early level
monster.
enemies too, like the red flying ones.
Yeah.
They won't just kind of lurk around and like escape you a little bit. Sometimes they'll just beeline right for you.
Yeah, they'll chase you
So
far.
if you don't know that he's coming, it's just a bat out of hell, and just whoa, oh shit, I gotta be.
Some throw fireballs at you.
They start scraping at you. You're like, oh shit, where am I getting hit from?
Well, there's a spot in the first level, I can't remember, but you're going down a staircase, and as soon as you turn the corner, I don't know what they are. That look, maybe they're mummies.
The mummy golems.
Yeah, but they're like right there, and like the first one got me.
They
I gotta check every corner.
Yeah.
It punishes you. There's a little bit of some sneakiness in there. Like, you open up a door, but the door opens beside you, and there's some bad guys waiting for you right there. So you're like, oh, you gotta be a little careful. It punishes you for just running around corners a little bit.
But I found, like, I played I played the first 3 chapters. Basically, for those watching this, there's like the original release was the first 3 chapters, and they add 2 more as an expansion. I'm going to play the other 2 because I loved it so much. But first one I played in the easiest mode. I basically just ramped up each time because, again, the controls. I feel like if I can get a more modern port with like dual stick, I can actually just play the hard one. I think I'll have fun. So I can't say if the enemy damage changes much and how much damage they take, but like every weapon felt good to me. The crossbow was one it's one of the first ones you get.
Yeah.
But I think that's your shotgun essentially.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like the gauntlets. I felt like the gauntlet was a shotgun.
Did you guys
you use the gauntlet?
Well, because you have to be close to really do much,
yeah.
right? But then you have the risk of getting.
Yeah, you're going to take damage.
If you're fighting one guy, you're still going to take like a little bit of hit, but then it's almost like it starts stunning them as it hits them. Yeah. But it's kind of satisfying, I guess, right? Because just like green lightning is coming at it. You're just holding these big silver gauntlets. Yeah. Well, and there's no ammo count for it either. So instead of like hitting them with a stick, which again I feel is just like a leftover from Doom or whatever, that's pretty satisfying. You get those gauntlets, the guy laughs, your character laughs.
Yeah.
It's good.
See, I didn't use those that much. I was like a crossbow and whatever that red thing with the horns was. But I found the crossbow very satisfying for those little flying imps. When you hit them, they have that animation where they kind of fall back. And it's like, I don't know, I like just clearing up rooms of them.
Well, yeah, because it spreads. It's a center blast.
You don't have to aim very much.
Feels like it does more damage,
Yeah,
but it's
the
also
center
two kind of... So if you can...
That's what I was saying. It's like a shotgun because if you're point blank, like all three things hit them.
Yep.
And then further away, it's more of you're just sprinkling them.
Yeah.
But ammo was less plentiful for that one. You get less and it holds less, so...
I love blowing up those skeleton axe throwing guys.
Yeah.
When they blow up, they're all like, blowing up with green flames.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, it's very satisfying.
They leave a big
those
corpse.
guys.
There's like a piece of armor or something. Yeah.
It's so funny. Like I said, I was very new to this kind of game. I felt like a complete noob. It's like I'm playing the first level and I'm like, I don't know any controls or how to even change your controls. And I get to the first key, like the switch rather. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do?
What key
and then my roommate comes by and he's like, you press space bar. And I'm like, oh, it worked.
That's one of the buttons.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
It's like, but I'm pressing up and down to go faster because you can move the mouse and press down to move fast to like skip over things. But then I'm having to switch over to like another pair of like left and right to strafe side to side. Yeah. So it's like more like it's like switching modes. I'm getting attacked. Time to go to the
strafe mode.
Strafe mode.
Going from 2D to 3D.
Oh, it's just bad, But
definitely there's like a revisit where you're like, okay, I know what the controls can do now, or I'm playing on Steam or something where it's made for gamepads, and that's kind of built in. I'm sure you'd be able to kind of just pick it up and breeze through it a little bit more.
It's interesting how some of the levels are designed where like you could play a later level in one of those like greater journeys, maps or whatever, and they had weapons that you could pick up that you could pick up from a previous level before. So it's almost like the game's thinking like, if you want to, you can start at this level. It doesn't tend to.
Well, even if you're playing through, you
thing.
Start fresh.
Yeah,
Like everything you collect in the first chapter.
And
is
if
gone.
you die, you lose your weapons.
Well, if you die,
So-
but you won't like the amount. Like if you had items, I believe in one level, you lose the amount, but you still have like one. Like I remember I had like tons of potions for healing health, and then the next level would start. I only had one.
Well, maybe it's like standard to start with one.
Mm-hmm.
I never noticed.
But yeah, those items, like they could put more descriptions, I think. Like
I
kind of inferred what a lot of them did.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had to look online, and then even looking online, it's like, tell me what the item does. Like, like what does it do?
I used a pink jar, and a book appeared in the corner, and I was like, great. Well, I didn't use the book. I have a book.
Oh, yeah.
What do I do with this? I'll just die.
But it is cool when you use the Book of Power. I think it is like a skull.
You do more
book.
damage.
Yeah, but then the weapons like you shoot the crossbow. It's like you're shooting like 3 times as much crossbow stuff around.
That's what it did.
Yeah,
that's right. That
and
did
it's
happen
like
once.
it felt good. It was
I think the pink potion was actually that's just a bigger health. Like heal, you can heal whenever you want essentially. Because there's pickups you find, health pickups, but then there's also like a little bit of resource management, like Eric was saying.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that's kind of neat too.
But you can always go back and pick up, before you go.
Yeah. And you can't, basically there's no like boss arena. You go just back away.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get that key, get to the switch to the next level, and then get to on your own time,
I think like the first Minotaur level, there's just tons of enemies in this kind of big circle arena, and then like in the middle is where the actual Minotaur is. So as long as you don't pick up all the stuff, you just kind of wander back. It's like
go straight to
get some more.
Yeah, I think that's part of the strategy is like having stuff, knowing where stuff was, so if you need to go back, because sometimes the levels will open up certain passages to get to areas where you already were, and so that's one thing. When I think it was the cathedral in the first world, that was the first level where I was like, wow, this isn't just about killing stuff. This is cool about like solving a puzzle of trying to how to get out of here, and just I like that aspect. I can see like there's a little bit of you ever memorize things. It's like dungeon crawler.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dungeon crawler.
Yeah,
and you got a map you can follow. Kind of like gives you well, here's a green door. Look at the map. There's a green dot.
Yeah,
so you can. And you can actually play the whole game just with the map open if it's on easy mode.
Really kill you. The direction,
Yeah, you can walk in real time on the map.
And then at the end, it'd give you the results. It's like, look at the secrets.
Yeah,
it's like there's all this stuff I missed.
There was one enemy I never killed. All my run-throughs for the first map, it was always like, enemies killed 21 of 22. And I was like, what? Where's the last guy?
Probably in secret room.
I never... Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I opened up all the things I could anyway.
I couldn't see myself going back and getting all the secrets necessarily.
Well, if they're not going to benefit you in the next level, what's the point?
Yeah,
just fun.
It's just completionist stuff.
I guess.
But some of those things, like the guns and stuff, carry over.
Yeah.
It's just, it's interesting. You're starting from scratch each world or each chapter. See, that's new to me too because I'm not a big Doom guy. So I was like kind of discovering a little bit of that too. So maybe I just got to play Doom now again because I like this so much.
Doom or Quake or something.
Yeah, we play a lot of Quake. That was fun.
I think you get the same fun experiences.
Same vibe. Quake isn't quite medieval, but it's got that same kind of like dark fantasy feel to it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I saw that was good. What time is it?
Okay, dark fantasy feel. We have
13 seconds left. Well, you know what? We just lost our close-up camera for Eric and Kyle, but you know what? That's okay. The Spear of Time attack is to press on for these last 2 seconds.
Yeah, and then there it is.
It was fun.
There it is. So, yeah, that was Heretic. Thanks for watching, and if you've played or enjoy Heretic, let us know down below. And happy Halloween.
Bye.
Wow.